Literally, debut. It's got to be when she plays Caitlin Clark. So they obviously ended up debuting at All-Star Weekend because Caitlin didn't play when they were in Chicago. When Caitlin didn't play, or Caitlin's not playing in this game, so they're debuting at All-Star Weekend. The plan was to literally go and use Caitlin Clark for the launch of it. And I'm like, we shall never.
Reebok's signature shoe launch was meant to be her moment to shine at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, Caitlin Clark's hometown. The plan? Drop her Angel Reese 1 shoe in 2 colorways.
And I'm like,
we shall never know peace. At least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out. And I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places. But because of where the WNBA All-Star Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA All-Star Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows,
colorways,
let's say.
Diamond Dust and Maybounds, alongside a bold I'm in Your City campaign, capitalizing on Clark's star power to drive viewership and sales. It was a calculated move to ride the wave of Clark's popularity, but it backfired spectacularly. Reese's strategy hinged on one major miscalculation.
Let's say
that proximity.
Angel, me bound, prayer, Reese. You only relevant because you keep bringing up my precious CC. You want to pull up with your Billboard Reebok ad in Indiana talking about you in her trap. Man, stop it. You out of there. You hear me? My precious CC don't be in no trap. Real talk. You hear me? At the end of the day, she don't do those type of things. Yes. You hear me? Don't put that with her name at the end of the day. If you be in a trap, that's your business. You hear me? Whatever the case may be, that ain't nothing to be proud of.
That proximity to Caitlin Clark would automatically translate into her own success. She assumed Clark's presence at the All-Star Game would draw massive audiences, boosting her shoe sales. But when Clark was sidelined by a groin injury just days before the event, the entire plan unraveled. The WNBA All-Star Game viewership plummeted 36% from 44 million in 2024 when Clark played, to just 219 million in 2025.
It's one of those things where it's like it's very clear that one side is absolutely trying to milk whatever rivalry there is. Whatever rivalry there is, it is one side trying to do everything they can to keep it together, because that is where they're going to be at their most relevant.
Ticket prices crashed 48%, dropping from $121 to $64 on the secondary market, as fans lost interest without the league's biggest draw. The I'm in Your City campaign, complete with billboards and social media posts captioned, "Walk in your trap, take over your trap," was meant to project dominance.
But there is the part of me that's like, is this really necessary? And shouldn't Angel Reese be able to market herself at this point without invoking or even, insinuating some sort of attachment to Caitlin Clark? Because if I'm being honest about it, people say that moment, and that moment was huge. It will live forever. That moment will live forever. But Caitlin Clark was on this trajectory already. And if anyone has benefited more from the attachment, at least from an attention standpoint, it's been Angel. But
instead, it came off as tone-deaf and opportunistic, especially in Indianapolis, where Clark's absence left Reese's campaign looking like an attempt to claim a spotlight that wasn't hers. Social media erupted with criticism, with fans pointing out that Reese's marketing leaned heavily on Clark's name rather than her own merits. One tweet summed it up. She can't even promote her shoe without mentioning Caitlin Clark. The numbers tell a brutal story. The 2024 All-Star Game with Clark was a cultural moment, drawing record-breaking viewership. Without her in 2025, the league reverted to pre-Clark levels of interest.
But here's where,
despite the presence of...
So the WNBA's All-Star Game went down 36%. That is a lot. That's more than a third from last year. Last year was over 3.4 million people, and it went down to 2.1. Now, you could say it's a success. Yeah, for women's sport, that is still a lot of people. But at the same time, it really isn't a success, because think about it. It's the only sport playing. it's the only game that's going, and you only can draw that. So, and this is with all the stars. Remember, guys.
Despite the presence of stars like Aja Wilson and Brianna Stewart, even the three-point contest and skills challenge saw a 90% viewership increase from the prior year. But that was largely due to fans hoping for a glimpse of Clark's residual influence.
Remember, guys.
Not
but
Reese's
the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was 4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events. Kathy Engelbert, this should be a perfect example of why you need to get your officiating cleaned up, and you need to have a talk with your players in the league.
WNBA All-Star Weekend is supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
You can barely dribble. You miss layups on purpose, and they record them as me-bounds, rebounds. You be stat padding. You don't elevate your players. You went to a stacked LSU team. You hear me? My precious CC owns you. You want to know the record? She is 5-2 against you. You beat her in college one time. That championship. But what happened to the year after that? She sent you home. You hear me? And waved to your coach. You hear me? At the end of the day.
Fans sent a blatant message. A shot across thou bow. All right? And your ship, well, without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA and all their pay us what you owe us action, that action will sink. That action will sink. Woo! WNBA All-Star Game sees ratings drop without Caitlin Clark, and it's ugly. It's real ugly. Who is this?
Not Reese's campaign. Reese's misstep wasn't just bad timing. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of star power. Clark's $28 million 8-year Nike deal and her sold-out Kobe 5 Pro shoes, resale prices hitting $600, aren't just about marketing. They reflect a genuine connection with fans, built through her electrifying play and authenticity. Industry projections suggest Clark's 2026 signature shoe could generate $150
There's
million.
no comparison between y'all two. You hear me? And she has a $28 million Nike deal. Nike is better than Reebok last time I checked. And Angel, me-bound, pray up Reese. Last time I checked, you said Indianapolis was racist and they was dangerous. Why did you show up? Because you could have just watched from the crib. You hear me? So, let me tell you this. Please stop associating my precious CC with the trap. She don't know what a trap is. At the end of the day, she might know what a rat trap or mouse trap is, okay? But anything else other than that, please do not. No. We not going to do that.
$150 million driven by real demand. In contrast, Reese's Reebok launch landed with indifference, exposing the gap between manufactured hype and organic appeal. Even Reebok's strategy betrayed the flaw. In the Netflix series Power Moves, Shaquille O'Neal was caught discussing how Reese needed to wear Reebok when facing Clark to maximize exposure. This admission, that Reese's relevance depended on Clark's draw, was humiliating. Her own sponsor was banking on someone else's star power to sell her shoes.
So one of his genius decisions was this. Fucking signing her, Angel Reese. If you don't know who she is, she's the queen of like fish out of water going after a rebound that she shot herself and can get in the net ever. She reminds me of a 3-year-old shooting on those little kids' nets and throwing the ball and just completely missing the mark and like scampering back to get the ball and then shooting again real fast and it just doesn't come anywhere near the hoop. That is If you haven't seen her play, that's what it is. Put that image here.
Juice.
That is her.
By the end of All-Star Weekend, Reese's social media post thanking the players seemed to subtly shade Indianapolis fans, who had given her a warmer reception than her campaign warranted. But the damage was done. The 36% ratings drop, crashing ticket prices, and lackluster shoe launch exposed the WNBA's reliance on Clark and the futility of Reese's strategy. You can't manufacture star power, and you can't build a brand by standing in someone else's spotlight. Angel Reese learned a hard lesson. Authentic draw comes from talent and connection, not clever campaigns or borrowed fame. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend will be remembered not for her shoe launch, but for what happened when the league's biggest star wasn't there to carry the show.
That is her.
Man, look, I don't know what the fuck Angel Reese was thinking. She wanted her shoe that just came out a couple months ago. The cost $1,000. Now look, I'm all for athletes getting their shoe, getting a shoe deal, having their design, specified, perfect shoe that significant to them and to other fans. But $1,000 for a shoe, love, I love you, I really do. But you definitely been on some shit, like lately. I'm not going to lie to you. You have. But $1,000, no.